take one part Echo the Dolphin, one part Rayman, cover the entire thing in toe-tapping beats, and the end result might look something like this. This is Beatbuddy, a game from a small development studio over in Hamburg called Threaks. And we had the pleasure of meeting the guys from Threaks back at Rezzed in June, where we first got to take a look at Beatbuddy and try out the game. And back then I tried with Dennis, one of the guys that made it, to come up with a one-sentence description to explain what the game is. Mine was close to 100 words in length. It was tricky. It's a game that tries to essentially avoid being able to be defined in one sentence. But I have one, and it's because I cheated. So Beatbuddy is an action, puzzle, rhythm-based game that hides more than one gem under its surface. And it's that line at the end, hides more than one gem under its surface, that manages to allow me to escape having to go into 50 words. So Beatbuddy takes place in the land of Symphonia, a world that is just simply overflowing with music. Music is everything. It is life. It is what keeps the world going. We have the giant ball of fire in our sky. Symphonia has music, and it's looked after by harmony, melody, and beat. Three ethereal beings that are in a slumber that essentially means that the world keeps ticking. You are playing Beat, the adorable little blue guy that you see running around on the screen with the headphones strapped on him. And you're woken up one day harshly and rudely, without even a cup of tea, by Melody, who tells you that people are trying to take your temple, and this is a bad thing, because it means essentially that they are trying to control music, take over the world, and thus everything will be doomed, unless you save it. Now, from the get-go, it is truly shown that music is the key to everything here. You're introduced to creatures one by one at the start and shown how they actually allow you to get around the game and what their role is. The drums that you can bounce off create a beat as you do, the streams that you can pass through create another beat as you do. Everything moves in time with the music. The entire game has been crafted around the songs that are within it. And these are songs by people like Parov Stella and Saber Pulse and Austin Wintry. Austin you may know from Journey. These songs have been tailor-made for each of the levels, and yet the levels have been tailor-made for each of the songs at the same time. It's a case of each of the pieces seem to have been made with all of the others in mind, but you have to start somewhere. It's fascinating that everything just fits together so perfectly. Like the songs and the levels come together so that it does feel like you are helping to create the music that you're hearing as you bounce off these creatures, as you go through these puzzles. My only complaint about the music is that when you get in the bubble buggy, which is the brown ball that you'll see throughout the video, the music kind of picks up, and this is because you can't really interact with, you know, as many of the creatures while you're in this thing. You can't bounce off the drums and whatnot. So the music just kind of picks up because the buggy moves in time with it. But there are moments during this where you'll end up with a little piece of music that will just repeat over and over. Maybe it's like 15 seconds in length, 20 seconds, and it will repeat, and the buggy sections can be a few minutes long in places. I really noticed this on one of the later levels where I was stuck in the buggy for over 2 minutes, and this section of music was just playing over and over, and it really just started to grind on me. But for the most part, I didn't have that happen. It only happened once or twice. And the levels themselves just feel like they were so beautifully crafted with the songs in mind. Each one of these 6 levels are hand-painted. They look great. I only ended up having 1 or 2 issues and they were minor with the artwork in the foreground that you sometimes hide behind. Sometimes they got in the way is because you're in, you know, water, or you're floating around as if you're in water. It really did kind of cause some issues with the controls for me, but it was minor. This is the thing with Beatbuddy. All of the issues I had were minor niggles. I never ended up coming up to anything in the game that just made me sit there and just go, oh, I don't stand this. I can't get past it. I don't like it. I don't want to play it. The music, the levels, the story all come together in such a great way. The story had a hand in it by Rihanna Pratchett, who you may know from Mirror's Edge and Tomb Raider, and she worked wonders with this. It's funny in places. The characters that you're introduced to are fitting for the world that they're in. It's great. My only concern story-wise was I felt that the ending was a little mismanaged. So overall, I thought the game was great. I really enjoyed my time playing it. It wasn't too long, the levels didn't grind. There's some replayability in it if you like collecting the crystals, or you just like trying to beat your times, or you really like the songs. That could be another reason to replay this game. But for me, it took maybe 5.5 hours, and for the £12/€15 price, 5 hours, that may not be enough for you. But when you consider games these days are, you know, like £30–40 for a 6-hour experience, you really have to work out whether or not this is your kind of game. But Beatbuddy is wonderful. It's enjoyable, it's fun, it's colourful. My foot was tapping for pretty much the entire game. I could not get the beat out of my head, and you end up just kind of falling in rhythm with it and sync as you're floating around these levels. So if you're after a new puzzle game, or a rhythm-based game, or you're just basically like, I really like the kind of style of colors like Rayman, then maybe Beatbuddy is the kind of game that you should take a look at. Because I did, and I really enjoyed my time playing it. It was great, and I still cannot get my foot to stop tapping as I'm watching the footage for this. So, if you have any questions, queries, or comments, or you want to just tell me about Beatbuddy, the fact that you've started playing it and that you really like it, or that this video helped you decide whether or not you want to buy it, it's great. Leave them all down below and I will make sure to reply to as many as I can. But from myself and from everyone else at LThan3, I hope you have a great week, and we'll catch you for the next video. Peace.